Hello everyone. Today I would like to go through my graphics settings because someone on YouTube requested it, and I actually might have controversial opinions on some things, so I would like to share them with you. Basically, whatever you set up, depending on your graphics card and CPU, I'm running on 3060. Just the base version, nothing special, no TI or something, just 3060. And the only settings that I change, like over PvE settings, like you can see it in the presets here, is the view distance and character count. So on PvP, whatever it might be, like arenas or dungeons or 48v48, riftstones and boonstones, GVGs. View distance on low, character count on epic, and on arenas the character count doesn't really matter because there's only 6 people anyway, so medium is enough, but you get the idea. Character count epic, on large scale combat, view distance low. I will go over the ideas why I set it up like that. Okay, that's my settings here. I'm running on 30 FPS capped because, yeah, you won't really get much more on really a large scale PvP when there are like spells happening. But as you can see here, even now, my graphics card goes to around 70%, 80%, 90%, and CPU around 70. So yeah, and that's on fairly high settings, but lowering the graphics details won't give you better performance, and I will show you, I will try to explain you why, but you can see here like 80% and 60% on CPU, and on PvE the only two settings that did change are the view distance and character count. I will swap it right here, and like performance is pretty much the same on both. It's just lower percentage, but the spread of the work is pretty much the same. So yeah, now let's go over the graphical settings in game. I haven't really changed much in Windows, but yeah, let's set the PvP on and let's go to settings. I will try to go over the settings one by one. So first of all, in character settings for large scale PvP, you don't really need to see all the fireballs and lightnings and whatever skills flying around. So what I would recommend everyone to do is select targets to show skills effects, set it to party members only, so you know which healing circle is for you, so you know where you should stand, and you see your party's bastions and all the important buffs going off. Yeah, this setting's really important for large scale PvP. You will still see like meteors coming towards you. You will see fireballs that are targeted directly to you or close to you, so you will still see the spells that hit you even with these settings like this, but you don't need to see the fireballs go into other people. That's really not important information, right? So that's the only setting that I would change here. Yeah, that's the important one. Other than that, let's hop into graphical settings. I'm running on 1440p, and as I said, 30 FPS cap, because even if you go higher, like I can get to around like 40 maybe, but it's not worth it. I'd rather have 30 stable than going like 40 to 20, then 40 to 20. Yeah, just set it up to whatever is stable for your PC setup. For me it is 30 FPS, and I actually have a software that can like go a little bit higher. I will show it at the end of the video. But yeah, NVIDIA DLSS for quality. You can go with performance if you have like lower end graphics card, but quality should be fine. Reflex low latency on, and that's pretty much it. 3060 graphics card doesn't support frame generation. If you have 40 series graphics card, you can turn this on and you will get a huge FPS boost. But that's for this basic screen. Then for the quality, I'm running medium to low, some things on high. So anti-aliasing, you won't notice if it's low or medium, like performance wise, so I just set it up on a medium. Ambient occlusion medium. Screen space reflections, it's not really important information and doesn't really like matter in PvP. So low is enough. View distance, low. Now some people, especially those that do not understand what it sets up, will tell you to get it to epic on PvP. The only thing that this settings affects is how far you will see like trees and rocks and grass render. So if I set it up to epic, you can see all the grass popping up, but it doesn't affect players. So it actually can help you in PvP, because on some maps you would not see players hiding in bushes, but with this setting on low, you might see them hiding in the bushes because those bushes do not render basically. So just keep it on low on PvP, definitely. On PvE doesn't really matter, I just put it higher because yeah, whatever. I like to have the game running on higher details. But yeah, view distance for PvP low, for PvE you can put it higher. Character count for PvP, like for medium scale, high is enough. For large scale, epic will render you the most people, but even when you set it up to epic, if you get to really like large scale battles, you will still not see all the people rendering. You will even experience your own party members and guild members disappearing from the screen for you for some reason, but that's not an issue with the graphical settings, that's an issue with the game engine. You can't really do anything with that, and even if you like put all the details to extra low, the players in very large scale battles will still disappear. So you can't do anything with that. So just for large scale, put it on epic to see as many people as possible. Post-processing, medium, has some extra effects for spells, for example. Character quality, high, that affects, I believe, your character. Shading quality, medium. Shadow quality, high. Shadow quality has a huge impact on performance, but if you set it on lower settings, you will basically tell your GPU to stop computing shadows, and the GPU will send them to CPU, and you will overflow your CPU. And since any MMO game, like large multiplayer MMO game, is highly dependent on your CPU, because CPU is the thing that does all the computations on the background other than the graphics. So you want to put all the pressure that you can on the graphics card for the CPU to have free room on the CPU for computing the network, basically, where the players are standing and so on. So yeah, shadow quality high. If you put it lower, it doesn't affect like pretty much anything anyway. So high on maps that have like open spaces, like in desert, for example, this setting will actually net you higher FPS when you have it higher, because there are not that many shadows to render. So yeah, just high. Distant shadow quality, medium or high. Texture quality, high. Anisotropic filtering, that depends on your graphics card. If your graphics card have like more RAM, more VRAM, just go with 16 times. Effect quality, medium. Vegetation quality, low. Vegetation quality is like, if I put it on Epic, you can see these bushes down here, right? That's what the vegetation quality setting does. It renders like grass and bushes, which are really not important for PvP whatsoever, so just disable them. For PvE, you can put it on and enjoy the view, but for PvP, it doesn't really matter. Depth of field does a blur when you turn it on, but I don't really recognize any difference. What it should do basically is it should like blur distant objects, but yeah, it does pretty much nothing. Motion blur blurs your screen when you move really fast. Not necessary effects for PvP. Chromatic aberration, I'm not sure what that does. I guess reflections on water and such. Not important. Lens flare, that's a setting that when it is a day and you look into the sun, it will render like circles on your screen, like if you are staring into the sun. So yeah, also not necessary. Level of detail, epic. Yeah, whatever, has pretty much no impact on performance. Character shadow quality, low. The issue with this setting is that it affects the shadow quality of your character, and if you set it on medium, it will let like high resolution or higher detail shadow to render on your character and 2 other characters around you. If you set it to low, you can see no shadows are rendered. So rather than having the shadows pop in around me while running between people, I can try to show it here. Which one was it? Shadow quality. When you move close to people, on some of them the shadows will start popping, and it like feels unnatural, so I just disable it completely. If you put it higher, was it this one or this one? Wait a minute. Well, I will destroy my settings with this. Yeah, whatever. But this setting on low for the most stability to get from the game. Lighting quality high, terrain quality low. Volumetric clouds, you won't really notice this setting unless you look into the sky. So, and that does not happen much during PvP. So you can keep it on high. If you catch yourself staring into the sky often during PvP, just turn them to low to disable them. But yeah, for me, high. Volumetric fog, low. Does nothing. Basically, it gives you this like sort of a filter over your screen, which is not really important. So yeah, not needed. Shader preloading. Some people will tell you to put it on Epic. When you put it on Epic and you have like higher end or mid end fast graphics card, when you put it on Epic you can experience stuttering, because the graphics card will try to preload shadows and other shaders. But then when you for example decide that you are not moving the same direction that you were and you flick your mouse, the frames just drop for a split second, cause a little stutter, which is not necessary. So on higher on higher and mid-end graphics card, you can put it to low to keep the GPU like constantly pressured with recomputing shaders, not preloading them, but recomputing them on the go. So to prevent stutters, put it on low. Hair strands, that's totally useless setting, which will set your character detail. Like you can see, I have it disabled now, and the hair are basically rendered all together. But when you set the hair strands on, like each hair then is rendered like separately, and they will even like react to gravity or wind separately. Doesn't really do anything, just takes a huge amount of GPU power for no reason, for no graphical like improvement, because most of the times you don't even look at your character from up close, so you don't even notice it from this far, right? So totally useless setting, really. Optimize for large scale combat, yeah, put it on, and use DirectX 12. That's, yeah. So yeah, that's it. Why I set it up like this is, as I said throughout the explanation, you want to put as much computing power onto your GPU as you can, comfortably, to not overload it, to let the CPU do its work for the game. Because when you start putting the graphics setting lower, the graphics card will simply stop computing them and will let the CPU do it, which will overflow your CPU, and that's the worst thing that can happen for you in an MMO game, basically. So yeah, that's it. So I'm capping on 30 FPS to keep the game running as smooth as possible. If you would like to go to 60, I'm using, and I will try to find it right here, I have lossless scaling installed, which works really well. I'm not sure if I will be able to simulate it right now, but you can basically set it up like this. You click scale up and hop onto the window that you want to scale up, and it will take the window and pretty much rescale it to 100 FPS right now. So I've set it up to 4 times, or I believe, no, I have set it up to like 3 times or something, but yeah, 2 times. So I should be getting like 60 FPS from it, which I am pretty much. But you have to start it for it to work properly, you have to start it before you start the game. So that's why the numbers are jumping, but I would get 60 FPS from it, basically. I'm not getting it on this window here because I'm streaming and those are 2 different counters. But if you want to play on 60 FPS and cap the game on 30, you still can. It's possible with this software. And it's basically pretty much the same thing it pretty much does the same thing as the NVIDIA DLSS frame generation does. It generates frames in between your frames, basically, and gives you higher FPS that way. Uses AI for it. So lossless scaling. That's it. So yeah, that's my graphic settings. I hope you find it useful. Test it up, try it up, let me know if it works for you. Let me know what computer setup you are running. I'm running NVIDIA GeForce RTX 360, no Ti, just the base version. Then I'm running AMD Ryzen 7 3700X 8-core CPU and 64 gigs of RAM. Where do I find the RAM? I'm not sure where to find RAM. And I also have the game installed on SSD drive. Yeah. So that's it. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope you find it helpful. Let me know how your game performed if you try the settings, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye.